So we'll start. Today we'll be discussing about the global designation of CMT and how you can use CMT to build your career if you're interested into technical analysis. Chartered Market Technician program. Basically, it's the highest designation in technical analysis, and it's a professional degree which you can show anybody in the broking industry or elsewhere, and you will be recognized as a technician. It confirms the proficiency in technical analysis. That is that it is giving you identification that you are a technical analyst. You know technical analysis basically. The program consists of 3 exam levels offered twice a year. Generally, we have exams twice a year, which is June and December. But this time, due to COVID, this June exam didn't happen. So we are having only one exam that is in December. This year, the exam will be between 1st December to 15th December 2020, and the level and this is for level 2 and level 1, and level 3 exam will be only on one day, which is 3rd December. So if you are starting the CMT program, then you have to be prepared by 1st December anyhow, and you can choose your date as per your convenience between 1st December to 15th December, but you'll have to choose it early because else the your preferred time slot or the day may be booked already. Okay, so then you'll have to adjust according to the dates which are available and the time slots which are available. So if you're really interested into doing CMTs, you should register as soon as possible. CMT Association oversees the program curriculum and administration of exams. So CMT Association is the body in US who overlooks the full exam curriculum and the administration of the exams, everything. The exams are conducted at the Prometric Center. Currently, it is in Goregaon, Mumbai, if you are in Mumbai, and it is available in another 5 major cities in India. One is Ahmedabad, another is Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, okay, and Calcutta. If you are out of in any other city, then you will have to go to the nearest of these centers and then give your exam there. Every year, the exam sees minor revisions in order of 10% or less. Major enhancements was done in 5 years interval. The last was in 2015. Every year, CMT Association does some changes in the curriculum. Last year, there has not been any changes. 2019 curriculum and 2020 curriculum is almost the same. Major changes come generally after every 5 years. So the last major change had come in 2015, and that was a very major change. A lot of things were removed from the curriculum, and new things were added to the curriculum. Another major change was that previously there were many different books that you had to read. Now they have come up with one curriculum of all, say like around 600 pages is the curriculum for level 1. But now you have to read only one book. Previously, when I was giving the exam, at that time there were for level 1 there were 4 books. We have to read 4 books. Okay. Now it's better for you that it is only one book. The curriculum makes sure that the practitioners apply technical analysis with discipline and objectivity to remove subjective bias from their process. The best part about CMT is that they are very serious about technical analysis, and they are in the curriculum removing all the subjective biases of technical analysis. In the curriculum, most of the things are objective. Chandra Patel is saying, can't hear your voice. Am I audible to everyone of you? Krishna says yes. Anyone of you having problem with the voice quality? Nikhil says yes. Santosh says yes. So I think the problem is at your end, Chandra. Please check at your end. There may be some issues at your end, but because all others are able to hear me, so we can continue with the session. Okay. Thanks a lot for confirming, Karan, Keshav, and Naran. Okay. So we'll continue. So what I was saying is that the curriculum is designed in such a way that we as technicians are not subjective. That is, we are not in ifs and buts. If this will happen, then this. If that will happen, then this. If there is a confirmed signal, if a condition is getting fulfilled, we get a bias signal, and if a condition is not getting fulfilled, it's not a bias signal, or it's a no-trade zone basically for us. So it's a very well-defined curriculum. Illustrate the complementary nature of technical analysis with other disciplines, including fundamental analysis and quantitative analysis and macroeconomics. The best part with technical analysis is that it can be used with all other disciplines also. Like you can use technical analysis in combination with fundamental analysis in combination with quantitative analysis, statistical analysis, macroeconomics. So it is not that it is competing with any other discipline. It is a discipline like other disciplines, and it can be used simultaneously with other disciplines. It can be used in conjunction with other disciplines as well. Okay. Equip CMTs with the ability to apply technical analysis as a mean of risk management in the portfolio context. Another benefit of CMT curriculum is that when you are going through this curriculum, you also understand about risk management, not only on individual stock level, but also on the portfolio level. You have to see the risk as per individual security, and as along with that, you also have to see the risk together as in the portfolio. It provides a disciplined, systematic approach to understanding the law of supply and demand in liquid market across all asset classes. Another advantage is that it also has the study of demand and supply. Also, in the liquid markets, and it covers all the asset classes. There are almost four types of asset classes: equities, bonds, currencies, and commodities. So it covers all the asset classes, and technical analysis can be used in all these asset classes. I mean, whether you can use it based on demand and supply, you can use it based on trend indicators, you can use it based on oscillators. You can do it with all of them. A bachelor's degree in finance, business, or economic is a minimum requirement. So to get the designation, the minimum required degree is required, that is bachelor's. You have to be a bachelor in any field. You can be in bachelor in commerce, arts, science, whatever discipline, doesn't matter. But uh, it is required. Another thing important to know is that you can start with level 1 preparation. You can give the level 1 exam. You can give all the 3 levels, even if you're not a bachelor. But you'll have to be a bachelor to apply for the CMT designation. So you can clear all the 3 levels without being a bachelor also. If you are still in your college, you can still do CMT, all 3 levels, but you'll not get the designation till you are not getting the degree of bachelor. And plus, you'll also need a 3 years experience to get the degree. Yeah. KG is saying what's the difference between CFTE and CMT? CFT is basically monitored by an association in UK, and it is basically a 2-level exam, and it is similar to level 2 of CMT. So if you are if you have cleared CMT level 2, then you can anyway apply for CFTE designation. So it is little they are collaborated with each other, so you can get CFTE designation even if you have cleared level 2 of CMT. Okay, you have to just pay $500 to the CFTE association, and you can get that designation. The curriculum of CFTE will be a little different from CMT. CFTE curriculum is little more subjective, and CMT curriculum is more objective. So that is the advantage of CMT curriculum. So why not CMT? Why CMT not CFA? Okay. You can do CFA also. CFA is also a very good designation, but understand that CFA is a designation fundamental analysis. Okay, it is not a designation of technical analysis. Okay. So if you are interested into technical analysis, CMT is for you. If you are interested into fundamental analysis, CFA is for you. And if you are interested into making money, then I would say both are good. But CFA basically deals into more of a long-term investing thing, and CMT includes both long term and short term as well. Because uh, I really doubt whether you can use fundamental analysis for short term trading. Okay. There may be some way that you can use it, but I don't know such ways. Keshav is asking, is there any criterion for the experience, like it should be in the line of the technical analysis? There's no such criterion that you have to be in the line of technical analysis, but yes, you'll have to be in the line of finance. Okay. You cannot be out of finance industry to get. You'll have to need 3 years experience to get the designation. Krishna is asking, so what about the reference required by the CMT charter holder? Basically, reference will not be an issue because there are a lot of CMT charter holders in India, and I think I know most of them in India. So I can get them for you. I can give your contact details to them, and I can give you their contact details once you clear level 3, and then you can contact with them and show them your analysis, and they will be happy to sponsor you. Don't worry about the sponsorship. Can show chart data analysis. Uh, right now, this is the program is for CMT designation, so we will be showing some of the analysis and charts at the end of the presentation. Okay. The way of approach, basically, obviously it is more practical. CMT program is a lot more practical than any other program, especially something like CFA, because CFA is more of fundamental analysis. The full approach is practical. And it is recommended that you do a little bit of your own trading also while doing CMT, because you need to know how emotions get involved when you have put on a trade. So it is recommended that you do some sort of trading, but you can do extremely small level of trading, like trade in cash markets with a very, very small quantity, just to get a sense of emotional touch of how the technical analysis actually works. Because till you don't put your money into it, I doubt you can learn too much from it. Jeevan is asking, what are the job opportunities in India? That will be covered in the presentation as we go forward. Okay. Ash is asking, so does it mean a guy from IT information technology sector cannot take? No, no, it's not like that. Any you have to have a bachelor's degree in any discipline. It can be in IT. Doesn't matter. Any equivalent designation should be okay. So we go to the next. Since you said we need finance, we don't need finance background for attempting CMT all the levels. We need finance background to get the designation, especially because if you have done CMT, you have to practice it. Okay, you cannot be given designation without having any experience. You need to get some experience from IT industry. You can shift to finance industry and get some experience into finance. You can always learn technical analysis, only you'll get the designation after you have that experience. Between any freelancing job available in between any freelancing jobs available while taking up the course, uh, I doubt you will get while you are doing CMT level 1, but I think after level 1 you can get some jobs. Freelancing jobs will be difficult in technical analysis. I doubt you get freelancing jobs in technical analysis. You can get freelancing jobs in IT, but I doubt in technical analysis. Having finance knowledge but doesn't have bachelor degree can fulfill. No, you'll have to have a bachelor's degree at the time of designation. You can learn, get the exams, clear the exams, then apply for the designation after your bachelor's degree. But without bachelor's degree, you will not get the designation. You can learn, you can clear out the layers, but you will not get the designation. Okay. So what does level 1 exam test you on? So it assesses the candidate's recognition, how he recognizes the patterns, the setups. Okay. It also tests you on the definitions, the basic know-how of the definitions, and the basic understanding of concept and technical analysis. So you need to understand the basic concept of technical analysis, which are there in the curriculum. You'll be asked questions based on that. The overall reading material is around 650 pages for level 1. It is approximately 900 pages for level 2 and level 3. Level 3 will be around 1000 pages. It is recommended to put at least 100 hours of time for the preparation. And this is like, it will depend from person to person actually. But generally 100 hours to 120 hours should be enough for a person. There will be 120 multiple choice questions plus 12 pre-test questions. So there will be only 132 questions in the examination which you'll have to answer. Okay, you'll be marked for only 120 questions, and 12 questions will not be marked, and you don't know which those 12 questions are. So you'll have to be prepared for 132 questions. Exams are conducted at the Prometric Center, currently situated at Goregaon West. Okay, so right now the center is in Goregaon West. Till December, hopefully it is there only because, and let's see that this COVID thing clears up until December. Otherwise, they may also extend it. We don't know that, but hopefully it should be cleared up to December, because we'll have to maintain social distancing till this pandemic is still there. There are no negative marks, so you don't need to worry about negative marking and whether you get negative marks or not. Don't worry, there is no negative marking. Exam time is 2 hours to complete the test. So you get 2 hours to complete 132 questions. Your target should be at least to get 75% to comfortably clear the level. Because I have seen some students who have got 70% and they have also failed. Okay, so they don't exactly declare a percentage. So you are never sure what percentage is enough to clear. But generally, what I've seen is if you are getting 75 plus, then mostly most people clear the exam. This is based on the past experience of the previous students. candidates can only sit for one exam each administration. So you cannot prepare for level 1 and level 2 together, or level 2 or level 3 together. Like in December, if you want to give both level 1 and level 2, that is not possible. You can give only one level at a time. No time limit for a candidate to pass the subsequent levels. So there is no time limit that you have to pass. Within this period, you have to pass level 2. Once you clear level 1 in December, say if you want to take a break of 1 year, you can take that break. There's no restriction on that. If you want to take a break of 5 years, you can take a 5-year break. There's no restriction to that. Okay. So that is a good part, that there's no limit in passing the next exam. And then there's no limitation of candidates ability to take retake exams. So you can take n number of retakes, but each time you take a retake, it puts pain into your pocket. Okay, so nobody wants to give a retake. It is a pain for us mentally also, and for the pocket as well, because it's not a cheap exam; it's expensive exam. So we don't want to fail and give a retake, but there's no limit to it. So at least you are sure that even if you fail once, it will not restrict you from giving it again. CFA charter holders are granted an exemption from level 1 exam. So if you are already a CFA charter holder, that is not only that you have cleared the CFA, but also you have the designation. Then only you are granted an exemption from CMP level 1. So you don't need to give level 1, you can directly give level 2 in December. Practical training and regularly reading price charts often helps in the performance. So if you are practicing technical analysis, if you are seeing charts regularly, that will definitely help you in clearing the exam. It is a definite like benefit for you. If you, and I'll always recommend that you should do that. Santosh is asking, from any university, does it matter? It doesn't matter from any university you have gained the bachelor's. Keshav is asking, for practical training, can you suggest any sit to follow website to follow? Okay. You can use investing.com. You can use TradingView or TradeView. I'm not sure. I don't use websites, but you can use any of the free websites. There are some free softwares also, like Zero Dark Kite is there. Sher Khan's Trade Tiger is there. You can use any of them. There's another software, I suppose. I'm not sure right now, but Chart Inc. is one software which is I think free with 3 years of data also. So you can use any of the software. For level 1, there should not be not be an issue even if you use these free websites and free software. So most of the tools are already available in these softwares. Okay. Santosh is asking, is there any provision for mock questions for level 1? If you join our program, then we do provide mock test, and we do provide you sample papers for level 1 and all the levels basically. Keshav is asking, if you don't mind, how did you start? So Keshav, how did I start? My full interview is there on Money Control. If you are interested, you can go to Money Control and search Sovit, or you can just Google it on Sovit Manjani Money Control article. You should get my full article in Money Control. You can read that, because if I put it here, then it will take a lot of time for others to understand. Yeah, so it was starting, and Paresh is asking, let's say Trade Tiger is good. Yes, it's good. In charts, I'm not sure, but any software should be enough. Upstocks, Upstock also is good. You can use that also, no issues. Okay, program will be online. Actually, we do it in classroom in Mumbai, in Andheri. Our office is in Andheri East, but due to COVID, we will be doing it online only this time till this thing settles. Once this thing is settled and the social distancing norms are removed, then we can have offline classroom sessions as well. So these sessions will be taken in classroom if these restrictions are removed. Then if it is feasible for us to visit office and feasible for you to come to our office, we will start offline classroom sessions also. Okay. But online will be there for sure. Okay. Level 1 consists only one basic understanding on technologies. So it says basic understanding, but believe me, it goes a little deeper. You need to know the implementation of the tools as well for level 1 also, because you are asked questions on implications as well. Okay, how you will apply technical analysis, that will also be asked. Okay, Ash is asking your full name again, please, to search the article. It's Sovit Manjani, SOVIT MANJANI. Like CFA, do we get any kind of scholarship in CMT institution? No, there's no scholarship in CMT. I have not heard about any scholarship in CMT. Okay. So now we come to the fee structure of the CMT program, and this is in dollars. Okay. For level 1, initially you'll have to pay $250 for enrollment. Okay, so this is fixed for everyone. Then you have a membership fee. This is not compulsory for all of you. It is optional. So either you pay membership or you don't pay membership. If you pay membership, then your exam fee will be $395. If you don't pay membership, then your exam will be $550. I also understand one thing that if you have any doubts that whether you'll be able to clear level 1, or if you have any doubts that whether this program is for you, then go for non-member. Okay, but if you are sure that you want to complete CMT, but if you're very made up your mind that you want to do CMT, then better go for membership, and you want to give the next exam in June 21, then go for membership, because ultimately the effect will be the same. If you see, in the next exam, you'll have to pay higher again. Instead of $595, you'll have to pay $750. Okay. So any which ways, you have to pay the same amount. Whatever you're saving, $170, what you're saving here, you'll be paying $155 in the next level 2 exam. So it will not matter much. But what benefit you'll get of the membership is that you will get access to CMT website. There are a lot of videos which are very good source of knowledge. Uh, Another advantage that CMT Association does regular meetings in some parts of India. Right now, Mumbai is the head of operations in India for them. We regularly have members meeting here, and right now, because of COVID, we are having online meetings and not classroom meetings. But as soon as this opens up, we will have webinars and seminars as well in multiple cities. Like there were some seminars in Delhi, Hyderabad. In major cities, these seminars do happen. So you'll get free access to these seminars and webinars. And then regularly now, this time in November, CMT Association had done a summit. Okay, so in which you will get a discount if you are a member. You'll not get it for free. In which Martin Ping had come, Ralph Akapura had come. Uh, so there were a lot of there were almost 10 international people who had come from US to India, uh, and you can meet all of them. But of course, it will not be free for you. Even if you are a member, it will be charged, but you'll get a discount. So it is up to you whether you want to take subscription, the membership or not. But I would say that if you are doubtful that whether you'll clear level 1, if you are like when I started, I was doubtful whether I'll clear level 1 also, because I was giving exam after around 15 years. Like I gave my BCom exam in 1997, and then I was giving in 2012. I was giving CMT level 1, so it was a gap of around 15 years to give an exam. So I was really doubtful whether I'll clear level 1 or not. Yeah. So if you have some sort of something like this, then I would suggest you to go for non-member. Otherwise, if you're very definite, if you're a student or you have just cleared your studies 1 or 2 years back, then you don't have a big gap, and you should be able to clear CMT easily. Okay. So then you should go for membership. It's totally up to you. Um, so the early registration was up to 1st June, which has already expired. So these prices are for regular standard registration. Okay, and then if you register late, then the fees will increase by $300. That is, I would recommend, if you are really interested, then register as soon as possible to the CMT website. Okay, and the curriculum fees is $225. Okay, that is only for the books. And if you want study material like a mock test and all, then it will be additional. And that is from the CMT Association. About career information, there are a lot of career opportunities available. Like obviously, you can be an independent trader or an options trader or futures trader, cash trader, whatever investor. Okay. Another thing is that you can get employed as a risk manager in various firms like hedge funds, brokerage firms. Exchanges also need risk managers who can manage risk for the full exchange. Okay. You can be a hedge fund manager. You can be a trading strategist, like I'm a trading strategist. You can become a fund manager in pension funds, in brokerage houses, in AMCs, mutual funds. Then you can also become a mentor or an author. You can be a trainer, like I'm doing training work as well. Okay. Many of the CMDs have invented their own tech indicators. They have created their own methodologies. So you can do that. You can become a system designer. So the career opportunities are huge. But the most important thing, whether this is your passion or not. Okay, you will be able to do good even only if you are passionate about it. You need to have passion if you are really interested. and it should not be only for making money. It should also be your passion, and you should love doing trading and technical analysis. If you can sit in front of a chart for continuously for 5-7 hours, then this is for you. Otherwise, maybe this is not for you. And who employs CMTs? As I said, exchanges employ brokerage firms like Edelweiss, Sher Khan. All these firms employ hedge funds, employ trading groups. There are some trading groups who employ technicians. Other financial companies and institutions also employ. Even companies like Reliance Industries also have technicians in their firm. Okay. So because they trade in gold and foreign currencies, so they need technicians for that purpose also. Also pension funds. And a lot of firms are there in finance who employ. Banks also do need firms for bonds. They do need technicians. So we know some people are there in banks also. The top employers of CMTs are in the world are Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Fidelity, Thomson Reuters, Bloomberg, UBS, Credit Suisse, TD, Emirates, Barclays, Net Davis Research. These are some of the top employees all over the world. You can check on their websites and you can find that. These professionals use mathematics, data, and analytic techniques to manage risk and to chart existing market prices to show trends and future pricing. The opportunity are immense and the rewards are great. So basically, what they do is that they use these techniques, they use mathematical formulas, they use data to analyze charts and setups in various asset classes like equities, bonds, currencies, commodities. They also trade into futures, options, cash market, long-term investment. So all these opportunities are there using technical analysis. Any website or resource to refer about fees? Yes, you can visit to www.cmtassociation. Okay, association. You can visit cmtassociation.com. Okay, to get full information about CMT program. Okay. Now, a little bit about myself. I'm a CMT and I've been doing technical access for almost 12 years now. I'm a co-founder at Dravniti Consulting, and I also had trading strategies and development of strategies division, and I also had the education division in Dravniti. I've deployed various profitable trend following algorithmic trading systems. So basically, we are into algorithmic trading. We develop models based on technicals and fundamentals. Also, we also have models based on options using Greeks. Okay, and we use it on stocks, indices, futures, options, and I'm specialized in automatic trading systems, position sizing techniques, risk management, and I've developed systems in Indian equities, currencies, the derivatives like futures and options, commodities, and New York Stock Exchange equities as well. I've been live trading these strategies, so the theory and practical is combined together. And also a faculty at BSc Institute for a certificate program on technical analysis, and I've mentored various CMTs for all the three levels. I train for all the three levels, so you don't need to worry about whether if you clear level 2 or level 3, so level 1 and level 2, then whether you get training for level 3. So you can be rest assured that we give training for all the three levels. And I also train some CFAs and CAs for systematic trading and automated trading, and I'm very passionate about systematic trading and technical analysis. Who should attend this program? Basically, anybody who is attempting level 1 exam in the year 2020, they can attend. Even if you intend not to give it in 2020, if you intend to give in June 2020, still you can attend the program, because you don't need to pay us again when you are giving it in June 2021. Because once you take admission with us, we give you unlimited access to our training till you pass the level 1. If you're getting enrolled for level 1, you get unlimited access to the level 1 resources. That is, till you pass level 1, you can attend our classes indefinitely. So even if you don't give it in 2020, you can attend the 2020 batch also and 2021 June batch as well. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. You can attend both the batches. And anybody who wants to learn technical analysis or systematic trading can also enroll for the program. You don't need to give the exam. If you are just willing to learn technical analysis and you don't want to pay for the exam, then also it is okay. You can just learn technical analysis, because this will cover the whole range of technical analysis tools. Another thing is that if you are doing this program, you can just take this program and learn technical analysis. If you feel like giving the exam, then only you can give the exam. Maybe you can give it in June. Okay, if you are not confident right now, and if you think that there will be some you will not be able to dedicate full time to this program, then also you can join it, and you can give it in June. But start your studying now, because you'll get more time. You'll get almost 1 year's time to study. So within the next 6 months, our syllabus will be complete, and then you'll have time to self study also, if you want to do it in June. For the top employers in India, basically India, it is like all the brokerage firms like Sher Khan, Motilal Oswal, Edelweiss, all brokerage firms do employ CMTs. Also, mutual funds do employ CMTs in India. And there are a lot of small firms which are not small, but they're into proprietary trading. They also employ CMTs. Okay, so there is a lot of scope for this. Fee structure, I'll be showing you now. Okay, any website or link to refer for your course fee structure. You can visit dravniti.com. You will get the fee structure there. Okay, it's www.dravyaniti.com. Okay, so you get the details there. Okay, is there any program for level 2 and level 3? Basically, such an orientation what we don't do for level 2 and level 3, because the students who clear level 1 with us continue for level 2 and level 3. Okay, so it's not required, but there are some students who don't do level 1 with us and directly join level 2 with us. But like they know us already. They know most of us already who are giving CMT know us, so they can always contact us on phone or on website and reach up to us. Yeah, Shrikant, if you clear level 1, you can join us only for level 2 and level 3. That is also fine. You can do that. You have my number, or I'll just write it down here. It's 7977 This is my number. You can contact me on this number after this webinar, and we can discuss that. Anyway, the fees is basically 45,000 plus GST for level 2. Okay. After clearing CMT level 3, what range of package I can expect from Indian firms? What you can expect is, after level 3, you can expect around 6 to 8 lakhs package a year. Yeah, but as you grow up in your experience, this package is unlimited. And at one point, I'm sure you will think of not keeping with the job and doing your own trading. Yeah. Because basically, what I understand mostly is that people do technical analysis mostly for their own trading and to do jobs. Okay. But jobs is not an issue. But yes, of course, at this time of such virus, it will be difficult for you to get a job, because you cannot go out, and the firms are reducing their employee force right now, because of they are not able to give service to the clients also. And because of the market fall, but this will not be there forever. The things will improve, and I'm sure till the time you clear level 3, there will be enough jobs again available. Right now, what I would suggest is that don't if you are there in a job, don't leave a job because you are doing CMT or you are learning technical analysis. Right now, it's difficult times, so be there wherever you are right now. Right now, I think your focus should be to survive, not to have a big leap. And as things get better, you can always get the bigger leap in your career. Okay. So a little bit about us ourselves. We have over 12 years of trading and investing experience. We have around 6 years coaching experience. Our approach is totally systematic and objective, because we are into algorithmic trading. We promote a systematic approach. We are not into subjective techniques. Okay. We have trained more than 80 CMT candidates. It must have increased by now, but we have kept that. We provide all the required study material like notes, sample question papers. So you don't need to spend anywhere else if you join our classes. We coach for all the 3 levels, so you don't need to. We don't leave your hand in between. So if you have cleared level 2 and you are trying to do level 3, then there may be some institution who are giving level 1, but they may not give it for level 2 and level 3. So you may get stuck. So we train for all the 3 levels, and we have a track record of more than 5 years, 6 years of doing that. We give almost 80 hours of exclusive trading, which is 4 hours every week for 4 months. Okay, so we'll be starting the next batch is starting from next week, that is 27th of June. Okay, so you will be doing it for almost 4.5 months, and we intend to complete the syllabus by 15th of November, so that you can give your exam and do your revision till 1st of December, and give your exam between 1st December to 15th December. All the sessions are live. You can attend in person or watch them from comfort of your home or office. So this will be live, and since because of COVID, we'll have to do it live, but it will be classroom sessions also. When everything gets settled out, we'll have classroom sessions as well. All sessions are recorded. So unless there's a technical failure, all the sessions we record them, so you can watch them even if you are not available on that particular day, and you can watch them n number of times. So there's no restriction of number of times of watching it, or period of watching it. Till you don't clear level 1, you can always watch our videos. Full support is there till you pass the exam. You don't need to pay the coaching fees again and again. Okay. So till you don't clear, even if you want, if you have taken the classes, suppose, and you are not giving it in December, and then you take a one year break, and you want to give it in 2020 June, 2022 June, you have taken 1.5 years break, then also you can approach us and join the current batch at that time also, because you have already paid the fees. So we don't charge you fees again and again. Only thing which will be charged for you will be if the curriculum changes, then you'll have to pay for the curriculum. Other than that, you'll not have to pay anything else. Um, Fully available on phone, so I'm always available on phones to solve your doubts if you have any, or you can always ask in the classroom through a chat box like this webinar. The classroom will be very similar to this setup, because we'll be using the same setup. We provide support for the CMT sponsors. As I said, if you, once you clear CMT 3 levels, then you need sponsors to get designation. So we'll give you full support to get the sponsors also. We provide assistance for jobs, but we do not give job guarantees. So there are some people we know in the industry. They contact us for if they need CMTs. So we do share their information to you, and your information to those people, and then you can give the interview, and if you're selected, you get the job. So we can facilitate that, but we don't give any job guarantee. We interact, and you can interact with more than 15 candidates, because generally the batch for level 1 is approximately between 10 to 15 candidates. So you get to interact with all the 15 candidates of the same level, and even higher levels like level 2, level 3 also. You'll get to know them also. If you come to the classroom session, you know them also. So you get to know and learn with each other also. Okay. Rather than just doing learning on your own, you learn only from the book. But when you're taking a program, you're learning from me, and you're learning from other candidates also. New batches starting from 27th of June. Okay, and the timing will be from 3 to 7 p.m. And our office is in Andheri, but right now we'll be doing it in online also only. And the training fees for level 1 is 35,000 plus GST, and for level 2 and level 3 it is 45,000 plus GST. Okay. Hope you have got my number, Shrikant. Okay. And in level 1 finish, get you you helpful to get job. We will provide you the details. Okay. What do you mean by CMT sponsors? Basically, sponsors means that anybody who has cleared CMT needs to sponsor you. Sponsor means that they have to recommend you to the CMT association, whether you are capable of handling the designation of CMT. So that you will that we can help you to do that. Even asking, according to your observation, how good is the growing demand for CMT in the Indian market? Given CMT's growth is demand is growing day by day, because now they have an office in India. They have come up with an office in India, and they are tying up with all major financial institutions for and they are telling them to get CMT as a compulsion if they want to hire anybody for technical analysis. So soon there will be people who will be doing CMTs, only because other than CMT, you will not get a job. If you are doing technical analysis, you will not get a job if you're not a CMT. So that work is already in process. So most probably it will be done in the next 1 year's time. For online, also the same. Yeah, the fees is the same. The effort and the fees is the same for both. The number of books. the number of books for each level. The number of books is one only. The number of pages are different because level 1 is like 650 pages approximately. Level 2 is around 900 pages, and level 3 is around 1000 pages. Okay. So what we do is that we divide it into 2 or 3 parts so that it's easy to handle the book, or to read the book. Otherwise, the book is one only for all the 3 levels. It's 979. You can just write it out at 7977 274416. 7977 274416. You can see it on the screen also. Okay. Yeah, this one. This is the phone number. Okay. So, what can be some of the study traps if you are doing CMT? The first trap sometimes is that a lot of people already are using technical analysis, so they think that they know a lot of technical analysis. Yes, they know a lot of technical analysis, but then there can be more things to be learned. Okay, whatever they are doing, it can be a small part of technical analysis, and there can be an ocean there for you. So you can learn a lot of things, and then although you are doing it in your regular work also, but there can be something which you may not be doing it rightly, or there can be some more addition which you can make in that. Okay. So when you do this course, you get much deeper knowledge into it, and then there can be potential gaps of knowledge, so which you can fill with this program. Okay. And there are a lot of tools which you may not be using it, or you may not be knowing it, so it will always add to your performance and capabilities. The second step is that if you have cleared, you're assuming that you passed the exam because you have passed other exams like CFA. So the difference between CMT and other exams is that CMT is more of a practical exam. Okay, you need to have practical knowledge while clearing CMT exam, because if you're not using technical analysis, it will be very, very difficult for you to pass CMT. Believe me, you'll have to use it in your daily life, maybe half an hour every day, but you should see charts every day, or maybe at least in 2-3 days, once in 2-3 days for half an hour you should see charts. That is very important. Just by reading books you will not clear CMT for sure. So please, whether you join our classes or you don't join our classes, but if you really want to clear CMT, you should see the charts every day, or maybe every 2-3 days at least, and see as many charts as possible. See whatever. Another thing which I can tell you is that whatever is written in the curriculum, once you read it, you apply it on the chart. So they are talking about a moving average, a 20-day moving average. Plot it on a chart and see how it looks like. Okay. And whatever they say about the moving average, you see it on the chart immediately. Okay. If they're talking about RSI, put it on the chart and see how the RSI looks. Don't just see the chart on the book. Scroll the chart to the left and see how it has performed in the past. That is very, very important to get a feel of it. You will not understand it just by seeing it, because in the books you will see only the good things about a chart. They will show you only that part of the chart in which it has worked, but you will not see that part of the chart in which it has not worked. So it is very important to see where it has not worked also, because if you put your money onto a setup based on something which you have read on the book, you should also know where it fails. And if it fails, then where is your stop loss? Where do you have to exit? That is very, very important for you to understand, because in the books you will only see the the setup which have worked. Hardly they show you setup which have not worked. Okay. But in real life, when you are trading with your small amount, also you will know that there are some places where these setups don't work. So that is very, very important to understand, especially if you are doing technical analysis for your own trading. That is very important. Don't think that all the setups will work all the time, or some setups will work all the time. There is no setup which works all the time as it is shown in the books. Assuming you are ready because you have read all the program material, understand that recommendations are just recommendations, and you need to emphasize certain subject areas more than others. So if you think that you have read the curriculum and you'll clear it, it may also not happen, because just reading, as I said, is not enough. You will have to see the charts, have a practical experience of it. Another thing important is that you have to know which points are to given more importance. There are some topics which have a higher weightage, some topics have lower weightage. Some topics have lower weightage in level 1, but they have higher weightage in level 2 and level 3. So if your concept in level 1 is not cleared on those topics, then when it goes to level 2 and level 3, then you will have difficulties. You will clear level 1, but you are not giving CMT exam just to clear level 1. You are giving CMT exam to clear all the 3 levels. Your purpose is not only to clear level 1. Your purpose is to clear all the 3 levels. Okay. So you should always be thinking in this manner, that how much can I learn? Not just from the examination point of view, but also from a practical knowledge point of view. You want to get as much knowledge as you can. That is very important. If you are not greedy for the knowledge, and if you are just thinking to pass the exam some way or the other, then it will not work for you. But then you may clear level 1, but you may get stuck in level 2. So don't be in just don't give the exam only for the designation purpose. Your purpose should be to learn. That is very, very important. You should be passionate about CMT. You should be passionate about technical analysis. If you're not, then this is not for you. Okay, you can do some other program. There are a lot of programs available. There are a lot of designation available. You can do CFA. You can do CFT. You can do CFP. There are so many options available. But if you are really passionate about technical analysis, then only you enter into this field. Okay. Popular and effective method of studies. Basically, there are two types of study that you can do. First is the linear study. That is, you start from chapter 1, then chapter 2, then chapter 3, and so on and so forth. Okay. This is what we recommend, because the curriculum is made in such a way that important things are there starting from level 1, chapter 1, sorry. So you can go from chapter 1 to chapter 41. There are 41 chapters in level 1. Okay. Another way of study is that which is topic based study, in which you give study those topics first which have more weightage. Okay. So what we personally recommend is these are two methods, but it is the like second type of study is like a more of like a cash course type of thing. What we recommend is that you start with linear study and go chapter wise. All the 41 chapters, you first read all the 41 chapters, and then when you are reading it on the second time, when you are revising it, then you do based on the topic by study. Okay, then you select those topics which are more important, which have more weightage, and which have more relevance for the exam and for the trading. And also remember that you are not just giving exam only for clearing CMT. You are also giving studying for your personal trading or for your analysis purpose. If you are a technical analyst, you want to increase your knowledge for technical analysis. So you should be more focused on those things which are more useful for you. Okay. By the second method, maybe most attractive in terms of time, we recommend linear study and using topical study as a supplement to ensure and candidates learn what they need to know. So now we'll go to the chapter wise detailed of level 1. Okay. Anjan is saying how much study are required to pass level 1, level 2, and level 3. How much study? I assume you are talking number of hours. As I said, for level 1, it is around 100 to 120 hours is more than enough of your own study, not the classes. I'm not talking about the classes. Classes will be around 80 hours. Approximately 80 hours will be the classes, which is 4 hours every week for almost 20 classes. Okay. For your, it should be around 100 to 120 hours. And for level 2 and 3, level 2 and 3 are quite similar to each other, so I can give it a mix of both. That for level 2 and level 3, you will need at least 200 hours of study, of personal study. Okay. Say, understand one thing, that another important thing which you should know is that if you take 100 hours, or even if I take 200 hours for level 2, let's take example of 200 hours. Okay. And give it a little we give it a little grace. Okay. Suppose we take that we need 200 hours. Okay. So if we have 200 hours, we divide it by, now there are around 5 months left for the exam approximately. Okay. So we divide by 100 days. Okay. 5 months is around 100 days. So basically it just required 2 hours a day. It's not a very big task. 2 hours a day is not a big deal for even those people who are working. And let me also inform you that when I did level 1, level 2, and level 3, I was working full time as an accounts manager, and I used to come from office to home almost at around 8:30, and after that I used to study, and I was also working on Saturdays. It was half days on Saturdays, so I used to get only 1.5 hours, 1.5 days per week leave basically. That was the time which I was getting, and 1 or 2 hours every day I was getting, and I cleared all the 3 levels with that job. So if I can do it, I'm sure all of you can do it. I'm taking 200 hours, which is a little extension, and I'm taking for level 2. Level 1, you can give 1 hour or 1.5 hours a day. That should also be okay. And if you don't get time on the weekdays, you can extend it to Saturdays and Sundays. Like you can give 7-8 hours on Saturdays, Sundays, each Saturday, Sunday. So basically 2 hours a day. That means 14 hours a week. So you can give 7 hours on Sunday and 7 hours on Saturday to complete 14 hours a week. Okay. So that is, I think it is possible for most of you. If you are really dedicated, then I'm sure you will be able to do it. But 200 hours means per day around 1 hour. No, it is 2 hours, right? Because around there 100 days, it is like now 5 months are left, not more than 5 months are left. Okay, I'm passionate, but I'm aged too. I doubt if I can do level 2. and 11th if it involves various calculation and statistical analysis and memories of so many formulas. I don't know your age, but when I started CMT, I was at the age of 36. Okay, so I was not very very old, of course, but I was on the higher side of the age. Okay. So that is my experience, and I was able to clear all three levels on the first attempt. So, but if you are doubtful, you'll have to like be passionate and dedicated. That is for sure. There's no substitute for that. Okay. I'm 53, but really like to get it. It's up to you. I don't think age is a bar, and I don't think you have to memorize. See, understand one thing that you don't need to memorize things which you love. Okay, if I'm using RSI, you can ask me any question on RSI. Even if I'm sleeping, I can answer that. Okay, so it will not matter if you will not need to memorize if you are practically doing it. But you'll have to memorize if you are not doing it. If you are mugging it up, then you will have to memorize. So if you are passionate, it will not be a matter to you at all, because you, and as I said, you have to do it practically. If you're doing practically, you will not need to memorize because you are doing it day to day. Every day, if you're doing the same thing, and if anybody asks you a question, I'm sure you'll be able to answer it easily. So practice it, and automatically it will you'll get better. But definitely, you have to take your decision. Okay. Okay. So now we go to the chapter-wise learning objectives. This will be little detailed, but I'll try to do it as fast as possible. Uh, and then call me afterwards at my cell number, and then we can talk about it in detail. Okay. So the first chapter, basically there are six sections of the curriculum. The first is the theory and history of technical analysis, which is like how the technical analysis actually started, which is not very difficult to understand. And the basic, the chapter one is on basic principle of technical analysis, which is the trend. Basically, trend is the base of technical analysis. You have to follow the trend basically. Okay. Define trend and explain why determining trend is important to analysts. Why we need trend. That will be covered in this first chapter. Okay. Identifying primary, secondary, and short-term and intraday trends. Basic beliefs behind the art of technical analysis. So, what are the beliefs why we use art technical analysis? You need to know that. Then chapter 2 is on Dow theory, the history and development of Dow theory, the basic principles of Dow theory, and the three types of trends in Dow theory, which are primary, secondary, and minor trends. The basic concept of confirmation in Dow theory, how Dow used to give confirmation for a trend in Dow theory, and the role or the importance of volume as per Dow, Charles Dow. Chapter 3 is on history and construction of charts. What are the advantages of reviewing price information in chart format? Constructing several types of charts, which are like line chart, bar chart, candlestick charts, and point and figure charts. There are other types of charts as well, which are not the part of CMT syllabus, like Renko charts, Heikin-Ashi charts, which are not in the syllabus of CMT. The differences between arithmetic and logarithmic scales. So there are two types of scales on which you can see a chart. So what is the difference between these two scales, and which is better when? That also will be covered. Then section 2 is on chart trends and patterns. Chapter 4 talks about trends, the basics, why trend identification is important for achieve profits, recognize an uptrend, downtrend, and a trading range, which is the sideways market, the concept of support and resistance, the various methods to identify trends. What are the various methods to identify trends? Identify significant reversal points. What are the patterns and how you can identify reversal points? Chapter 5 talks about breakouts, stop losses, and retracements. Identifying breakout tools, how to identify breakout. Then the purpose of entry and exit stops, and the methods of using entry and exit stops. Chapter 6 is on moving averages, how to identify trends using moving averages, methods of calculating various types of moving averages, like simple moving average, exponential moving average, triangular moving average. There are a lot of types of moving averages which will be covered in this. Then interpret directional and movement indicators. There are some indicators who tells you the direction. And then characteristics of envelopes, channels, and bands, like Donchian channels, Gartner bands, Bollinger bands. All those will be covered here. Then chapter 7 talks about bar chart patterns. Chart patterns such as triangles, flags, pennants, double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulder formations. All this will be covered in this chapter. Compare historical performance with the of the chart patterns. This is very, very important. That just knowing the chart pattern is not important. What is their historical performance? How they have performed in history? Then only the chart pattern is important. Otherwise, if the performance is not great, then you can there's no use of using those chart patterns. Chapter 8 is on identifying short-term patterns. How to identify reversals in long-term trends by using short-term patterns. Recently, I had a webinar on short-term patterns. If anybody of you have seen it, with in association with CMT Association and Refinitiv, I've done a 1 hour webinar. Then types of significance of gaps that occur on price charts. So there are the various types of gaps which can occur on price charts and why they are important. Implications of volatility on appearance of wide range and narrow range days. So they are how volatility influences the price, that will be covered here. The formation of and interpretation of common candlestick patterns. So how what are the common candlestick patterns and how they are formed and how you will interpret them, that will be covered here. So all types of candlestick patterns, reversals and continuation patterns will be explained here. Then chapter 9 is on confirmations. What are the methods of plotting volume on chart on price charts? What are the rules for interpreting volume data? Indexes and oscillators designed to use volume as confirmation. How you can use oscillators of volume to get confirmation on price. How to use open interest and how it might be used for confirmation. Again, open interest can be used for confirmation of a trend or of a breakout. The concept of momentum in price action. So how momentum can be used on price, and the characteristics of indexes and oscillators. What are the basic characteristics of a lot of momentum indicators and volume indicators. Then chapter 10 is on candlestick charting. What are the strengths and limitations of candlestick charts? Individual candlestick charts, their rear bodies and shadows. Okay. How candlesticks graphically depict the high, low, and open and close for any trading time frame. Identify candle conformations of support and resistance. How support and resistance can be identified using candlestick patterns. How candlestick patterns form at the levels of support and resistance. And chapter 11 talks about point and figure charting. How point and figure charts are constructed. The construction of point and figure is very different from line and bar charts. The importance of box size on the sensitivity of point and figure charts. So point and figure charts have a box size. So how this box size, as you vary the box size, how the point and figure charts can differ. Interpret reversal signals on point and figure charts. So how you can identify reversal signals on point and figure charts. And the concept of price targets attained by using horizontal and vertical counts. So there are two ways of getting targets. Yeah, one is horizontal count, and another is vertical count. So how you can do that? Then we come to section 3, the advanced concept in charting and trend analysis. The introduction of Elliott wave principle, the important elements of Elliott wave, a difference between impulsive waves and corrective waves. Then chapter 13 again is on Elliott wave, the anatomy of Elliott wave trading. Identify the count of a given wave in a defined structure. Identify whether technical study falls into one or three categories, which is trend following, oscillating, and sentiment indicator. Chapter 14 is on measuring market strength, measures of internal market strength, interpretation of various market breadth indicators, like how breadth of the market can be used to understand the market dynamics. Interpret signals of changing market strength from volume data, how volume data can be used to identify market breadth and market strength. Identify measures of market strength from new high and new low data. So number of stocks which are making new highs and new lows. That information can also tell you what is the market strength and how it may behave in the future. Recognize market strength based on number of stocks priced above their moving averages. So say, for example, how many stocks are above the 200-day moving average. So if a lot of stocks are above the 200 moving average, then it gives you more confidence that the market trend is up. If not many stocks are above the 200 moving average and very few stocks are above the 200 moving average, then it can tell you that the market is moving up, but the strength is not there. So it is a cause of concern. Then chapter 15 is on fundamental foundations of cycle theory. What are the two types of cycles? Identify the three characteristics of a cycle. First, seven principles of commonality. Then defining a composite wave, describe a dominant cycle, and the tools that aid in cycle identification. Chapter 16 is again on cycle, the basis of cycle analysis. How the annual cycle conforms the cycle theory. The two methods of detrending the data. So if to identify a cycle, you can detrend the data and identify a cycle. So what are the methods to do that? Common seasonal tools to identify seasonality. Memorize the notable economic cycles and their periods. There are some cycles which are very common. So how you can use them and what are their periods, how frequent they occur, and then sequences on and nonlinear cycles. Then we come to section 4, which is on markets and volatility. Chapter 17 is basically on markets, instruments, and data, and the technical analysis. Four basic asset classes for technical analysis, basically currencies, equities, commodities, and bonds are the four markets. 5 tradable instruments that the technician is likely to employ. What are the instruments on which you can employ technical analysis? How to handle data by the technician. So what are the important things which you need to know when you're using data? Chapter 18 is on equities. So equity securities and primary data types. What are the data types for equities? The benefits of equities for investors. What are the benefits of equities? Then the effect of corporate actions on price data. So there are corporate actions like dividends, bonuses, splits. So what are the effects of that? Then classify sectors, capitalization, and other ways to segment the market. So how you'll get classify various sectors, how you'll make indices using capitalization methods. All that will be covered here. Then chapter 19 is on indexes. Index is basically in our case it is Nifty and Bank Nifty. What are the major global equity indices? What are some of the non-equity indices of the world? Explain the weighing methods used in various indexes. So how these indexes are made using weighing methods. Okay. Define survivorship bias. Then chapter 20 is on fixed income and bonds. The major types of issuers of bond securities, basic terms of bond instrument, that is duration, maturity, coupon rate, and issuer. Explain the relationship between price and yield. What is the relationship between price and the yield? And then define yield curve, the importance of US government debt in the pricing of other debt securities like yield and spread. Then we come to chapter number 21, which is on futures. The purpose of futures market, classify various future markets as industrial, agricultural, financial, and so on. The major types of futures market, the how to use open interest in futures market, and what are the challenges technicians face when using futures data. Sir, is it better to have a hard copy of the curriculum or ebook alone can be manageable? What do you recommend? It is up to up to you. Basically, I like to read hard copy. I don't like to read it on a computer or on a Kindle. I prefer to use the hard copy, but it is up to you how to use it. Can you mail the same for the reference purpose if you don't mind? Mail what? The presentation. Yeah, we'll mail you the presentation for future. Or you can always watch this presentation on YouTube. Will be posting it on YouTube as well. Or in fact, the previous orientations are also available on YouTube. You can just go to Zavniti on YouTube. You can just search Zavniti education, and you will get the previous orientation also. Chapter 22 is on exchange-traded products. What are the different types of exchange-traded products? What is the difference between exchange-traded funds and exchange-traded notes? The usage for leverage exchange-traded products. Then chapter 23 is on foreign currency, foreign exchange. Identify the base and core currencies in a pair. Classify currency pairs as a major or cross currency. Explain the data using building currency charts, introduction to cryptocurrencies. Chapter 24 is on options. The purpose of options market. What is the basic purpose of options market? What are the major terms of options contract? The basic introduction to Greeks of options, and then implied volatility. Chapter 25 is on understanding implied volatility, the difference between historical and implied volatility, the basic concept of put call parity, which is very, very important in options. Okay. Calculate single day implied volatility, and 26 chapter 26 on VIX index, basically describe the VIX index and the implementations of rising and falling VIX index. Section 4 is on behavioral finance. Chapter 27 talks about efficient market hypothesis, the basic concept of efficient market hypothesis and the characteristics of stock prices as a martingale. Chapter 28 is on efficient market hypothesis and the market model, the basic components of CAPM model, valid criticisms of the CAPM model. Chapter 29 is on the forerunners of behavioral finance, contrast momentum strategies and mean reverting strategies, the general concept of value investing, why value investing is similar to a mean reverting strategy. Chapter 30 is on noise trader and the law of one price. The concept of fungibility is explained here, and what defines a noise trader? What is the definition of noise traders? Then chapter 31 is on noise trader and technical traders. Why technical traders are considered as a specific type of noise traders? The implementations of technical traders in the market. Chapter 32 is on academic approaches to technical analysis. Contrast efficient market hypothesis with adaptive market hypothesis. Then how technical analysis remains relevant despite of EMH, that is efficient market hypothesis. Then chapter 33 is on the market sentiment and technical analysis. Define sentiment and as it relates to the financial markets. General categories of informed and uninformed participants. The importance of the crowd and the challenges of using sentiment indicators. Chapter 34 is on sentiment measures from market data. VIX as a sentiment measure. The use of options, volume, and open interest as sentiment indicators. The use of futures open interest engaging sentiment. The primary groups of commitment to traders report. Define short interest. Explain insider activity as a sentiment indicator. Chapter 35 talks about sentiment measures from external data, the use of news and advisories as sentiment measures, explain the concept of contrary opinion, how mutual funds, cash, and other funds measures are used to gauge sentiments. Now we come to section 6, which is the basic statistics for the technical analyst. Chapter 36 is on introduction to descriptive statistics, the three common measures of central tendencies, which are mean, median, and mode. Alternative methods of calculating the mean and their uses. Measures of dispersion, which is standard deviation and variance. The value of data visualization as a complement to descriptive statistics. Chapter 36 is on probability, define probability, then the impact of law of large numbers on a series of outcome, which is very, very important to understand in trading. Define random variable and the phase independent and identical distributed. Describe the normal distribution, probability distribution. Identify skewness and kurtosis. Chapter 38 talks about objective rules and their evaluation, how to distinguish between objective and subjective rule in technical analysis, the use of binary rules and individual or multiple thresholds, the difference between traditional rules and inverse rules, the difference between regular prices and detrended prices. Chapter 39 is on being right or making money. The four key characteristics Nat Davis claims are common to successful investors. 9 rules to consider when building a timing model. The logic of using moving averages as a trend indicator. Then we have chapter number 40, which is on market model building process. The use of advisory service opinion as a sentiment indicator. The difference between sentiment and valuation indicators. The main tools that the Federal Reserve uses to adjust the money supply. Interpret the likely results of changes in Fed monetary policy tools on market conditions. Identify the outcome of good economic indicator reading and the likely influence of this news on stock prices. How moving averages of stock prices can be included in a forecasting model. How momentum indicators can be included in the forecasting model. And last chapter is on relative strength as criterion to investment selection. Define relative strength, how relative strength is used, and the value of relative strength study, and identify the correlation coefficient. So this is basically what are the 41 chapters and what will be covered in these 41 chapters. Now we come to the weightage of each chapter, or not the chapter but the topics. Okay, so basically, curriculum has given 47% weightage to the chart development and analysis. So if you see, almost 50% weightage is there only on charts and analysis. So construction of charts has 5% weightage, which include all these topics. Then trend analysis has a 16% weightage, and this 16% weightage is very, very important. Don't underestimate this. And many people actually underestimate this part. And it is a very, very important concept and easy to understand thing. But I've seen a lot of people don't actually fully take advantage of this part. Okay. Then chart and pattern has 23% weightage, which includes the indicators also and the basic chart patterns. Confirmation has only 3% weightage, but this is not the confirmation chapter. It includes only open interest and volume. So open interest and volume has only 3% weightage, but the importance increases when you go to level 2, where confirmation will be much more important. Then markets altogether have a 21% weightage, which includes theory and history, the basic understanding of markets, okay, the types of markets and all, and the market indicators has 7% weightage within the markets, okay, which is like breadth indicators and all will be covered here. Then technical investment strategies has 18% weightage, which include market cycles. Selection and decision has around 13% weightage. System trading has only 5% weightage, but understand system testing has a very, very big weightage in level 2 and level 3. So your basics of system testing should be made strong in level 1. You may clear level 1, but then you will get stuck in level 2. So if your basics are not strong, then you will face problems in level 2 and 3. Statistical analysis has 6% weightage. Again, this also has a very, very high weightage in level 2 and level 3. So you have to be very, very strong with statistics within level 1. When you are doing level 1, make sure that you are doing it, although statistics in level 1 doesn't have that much weightage, but you'll have to be very good with it in level 1 because the concept has to be clear in level 1. Then ethics and standards have only, standards of practice only 3% weightage. So which is just a 4-page thing. So that should not be an issue for any of you. Then chapter wise, how you can focus, like almost 42% weightage is there from chapter number 1 to 16. So the initial part of the curriculum is very, very important, which is up to chapter number 16. And then market study has 70% weightage, which is from chapter number 17 to 26. Strategy and selection has 23% weightage, and that covers into chapter 27 to 2035, and 15% weightage is there in system development concept weightage. The majority of the questions on the exam, that is around 82%, are related to the first three categories and would be derived from those chapters that are bold red in the table above. Okay. So if you see these three topics, the first three topics, which is up to the chapter 35, almost have 82% weightage. So your concentration should be more on these first preface history from chapter of 1 to 16, and then from 17 to 35. Okay. There are some questions. Uh, Sushil Rajesh is saying, I am retired person. I'm not sure if I want to take exam to get the designation. I simply want can I get the material for level 1 and attend online classes as I live abroad? Yes, of course, you can get the material and enroll for the classes, and you can see all the classes either live or recorded, and be part of it. And you don't give the exams. It's totally up to you. Okay. Exams is not a requirement. It is. I would recommend to give exams to most of the people because when you are giving an exam, you are like putting your 100%. Like if you're not giving exam, you will read initially you will start reading one or two chapters. You'll be very enthusiastic, and then as you go forward, the enthusiasm reduces, and you will not be motivated to read other chapters. When you are giving exam, you are like pushed to read. You are because you have paid money for the exam. You are pushed to read, and you don't want to waste your money, right? So it is always recommended that you go for the exam, but it is fine if you don't want to go for the exam. I'm a retired banker and a CA. I'm only interested in learning the theory and practice of technical analysis, and I simply attend online 11 class and get reading material. Not really interested in pursuing the qualification. I'm an investor who wants to get a better investment. Yes, of course, Sushil, you can do that. As I said in the beginning also, that it is up to you whether to give an exam or not, but I will always recommend to give exam. But you can always first you decide you want to give. You can give after that. Also, there's no restriction to that. It's totally up to you. Okay. Then some study tips. There are three types of formulas in the CMT curriculum. The first is calculating technical indicators. So you don't need to worry about these formulas because you just have to memorize the calculation. You don't need to memorize the calculation of technical indicators. You just have to understand them. You have to understand the elements of the formulas and their function, how they are carried out. That is what is required from you. And same is there with the third thing, which is the performance matrix. You don't need to remember the formulas. The formulas will not be asked from you, but you need to understand the formulas and the elements, how they have been created, what are the inputs of the formula, and what is the purpose of the formula, and the function of the formula. Okay. So that is very important. But type 2, which is actually, these are very, very simple formulas because it's like calculating targets. Okay, so for example, if there's a head and shoulder, then the target is from the neckline to the head. If it breaks down, so you have to add that to your, you have to subtract that from your neckline to get the target. So these are the simple formulas, which is just plus and minus, nothing more than that. So I don't think that should be a problem for anybody. The formulas for expected price movement, however, will need to be memorized simply based on their functions. So you'll have to remember the target-based formulas, so how the price move has been made and how they have been used for targets. Okay. Now, one very important thing to understand is that when you're reading books, they don't really tell you how to read books. Basically, in our schools also, they have given us books, but they have never told us how to read books. There's a specific method of reading a book. So when we are talking about technical analysis, understand one thing, that the total technical analysis is divided into two parts. One is trend following method, and another is mean reverting method. And the same indicators you can use differently for trend following, and you can use the same indicators differently for mean reversion. So you need to understand when you need to use indicators for trend following, when you need to use indicators for mean reverting, which indicator you can use for mean reversion, which indicator you need to use for trend following. That is very, very important. Uh, whenever I see any of the indicators, I first try to understand how to use them, or where to use them, because just by seeing an indicator and in one trade it has worked, that doesn't mean that it will work for a large number of trades. We need to understand the characteristic of the indicator. Okay, so always divide your studies into two things. That is what I like to do, is I divide my study into two parts. if I'm doing trend following, then I'll see see it different version, then I see the same chart differently. Okay. So first we talk about so trend following indicators. So indicators work differently for different market conditions. So the same indicator can be used for different market conditions. I'm just giving you a essence of how I teach technical analysis in the classes. Okay. So if you see, this is a chart of Bajaj Finance, okay. And here if you see the price is going up. This is from 2009 to 2019 end. I'm not sure, but I think it will be up to January 2020 or up to 19. The trend was continuously up for almost 10 years. And if you see in this full 10 years, this is a monthly chart, and always I recommend to see monthly charts while you are learning to use technical analysis, and when you are learning to use indicators. Indicators are very clear and very easy to see on monthly charts. Okay, always use monthly charts initially. Then you can always go to weekly, daily, intraday charts. No matter whatever you want to do, you can do. But first, understand the essence of the indicator on monthly charts. Monthly charts will give you very clear usage of the indicator and how you should use the indicator. On monthly charts will tell you what is the strength of the indicator, what is the characteristic of the indicator. You see, in this full period, once it was at around 20, almost 20 rupees or something, because this is adjusted for border size splits. It went above 60. If you see, it went. These are 60 levels or RSI monthly. It was above 60 at around maybe at 30 rupees or something. Okay, and after that it remained above that for till it went to 4,000. There were only two instances here and here when it went below 60. Okay. So you can clearly see that the trend can easily be seen on the chart, and when there is a trend, a technical indicator can remain overbought. Like people say that 70 is overbought on RSI, but in this case, if you see 60 remained at overbought level, and it most of the time in this full trend from 20 rupees to 4,000 rupees, most of the time it remained above 20, above 60 levels. Okay. So it can be easily seen. The trend can easily be seen. Cannot you see trend easily in this chart? You don't need to see the chart also. You can just see the indicator and tell. The trend is very visible on the chart, but it is also visible on the indicator. Will you be able to write this trend bus just by using one simple rule, that buy when it goes above 60 and exit when it goes below 60? If you use this simple rule, when it goes above 60 in monthly, you buy, and when it comes below 60, you exit here. Again, it went above 60, you buy here. Again you'll exit here. Again, it goes above 60, you'll buy here. Again, you'll exit here, and again you buy here. And this trade will give you from almost 50 rupees to around 100 rupees or something. And then from here, when it went above 60, it was at around 100 or 150 somewhere, and it went to 4,000 levels. So by using a simple rule, you can make money, but you need to know how to see a trend on the chart. You need to see how the trend shows on the chart. That is very important. So RSI is one of the tools which can easily help you. And this is this is basic 40 period RSI on monthly chart. There's no change. It's the default settings of RSI. Then again, we see this is a chart of Suzlon Energy. Okay, in 2008 it went below 40. If you see, this is 45 levels, not 40 but 45 levels. At that time, the price was approximately around 100 rupees or maybe 200 rupees. I'm not sure. Okay, around it will be around 200 rupees. And it went below 45 levels on monthly chart, and it remained below 45 for the full period. And it went above here, above 45, only here, somewhere here, when it was 10 rupees or 20 rupees. So this time from 200 levels to 20 rupees, you could have redeemed it if you were seeing the monthly chart. Obviously, there were some. This would be a very big drawdown for you if you were there this trade, but you will be still in a profit even if you were there this trade. I'm just showing you like an example, and it never, if you see, it never went above 60. In this full 10 years period, it never from 200 rupees to 2 rupees, it never went above 60. You will never buy a stock which is below RSI 60 on monthly. You should never buy a stock. Basic idea is that never buy a stock which is on monthly, which is below 60. Okay. And you can see again it went below 10 here, and it went to 2 rupees, and the RSI remained below 45. So on a monthly chart, you can easily see the characteristics of the indicator. You can easily see the characteristics of the stock. Okay. And the same indicator now we are using. This is again the same 14 period RSI on monthly. This is a chart of Bharti Airtel, and you can see from 2008 to 2019, this chart has remained sideways. This stock has remained sideways in this full period. And if you see it, once it went below 60, this is actually 70 levels. Okay, this is 70. I've altered the levels from 60 to 70. And the low is around 40 levels. So if you see, the RSI has remained between 70 and 40 in a sideways market. So again, with the same indicator, same settings of 14 period, you can identify a stock which is sideways. And the same rule will apply for weekly, for daily, for intraday, whatever. You can see the same rules on daily and other time frames also. So this is how you identify a stock, and how you identify the setup of the stock. So this is a stock which you have to avoid for both longs and shorts. Just don't trade this stock. You don't need to trade Bharti Airtel. There are so many stocks available out there. Okay. So once you have this information, it becomes very, very easy for you to trade. Okay. Another important thing is price. Okay. When we talk about price, understand that price has 4 elements into it, which is very important. Which in this sequence, I doubt you will find it in any of the books. Okay. Price has basically 4 elements into it. First is the trend. Trend is the strongest on higher time frames. So when you go to the higher time frames like weekly and monthly, you can see trends easily. As you saw in the charts of Suzlon and the Bajaj Finance, the trend was very, very visible on higher time frames. So see the trend on the higher time frames. It will be very easy for you, and there will be no doubt. It will make your trading much easy, and you're an aspect and most important tool for a technical analyst. You will never go against the trend. At least if you're not with the trend, don't be. But at least don't go against the trend. It will damage your financial. It will be very, very damaging for your financial health and emotional health as well. Okay. And then the second element is the cycle. Cycles improve your timing. They give you timing when to enter, when to exit. That you can identify using cycles. Okay. And the third element is seasonality. Now, seasonality is annual in nature. So, if you see any season, winter is annual, summers are annual, all spring, autumn, all seasons are annual. They have an annual nature. Okay. So, the third element is seasonality, which will also help you in trading once you know that. And then the fourth element is the noise. Like noise is the highest on the shorter time frames and lowest in higher time frames. So once you know this, that is why it is very, very difficult to trade in lower time frames. But there's an advantage also of lower time frames, that your stop losses are smaller. When you go to higher time frames, your stop losses will be bigger. So there's an advantage to lower time frame, but there's disadvantage also to a lower time frame. There's an advantage for a higher time frame. There's a disadvantage also for a higher time frame. So you need to understand these basic knowledge about technical analysis and price before you try to trade. So once you know that there's noise in a lower time frames, you can what you can do is that you can see the trend on a higher time frame and trade on a lower time frame to get advantage of the higher time frames for trends and take advantage of smaller losses on a lower time frame. So that is the best way of trading. Use multiple time frames, see trend on a higher time frame, and entry and exit can be taken on the lower time frames. Okay. To understand any indicator, first use its behavior on the monthly chart. So see any indicator on a monthly chart. It will help you a lot. Even if you follow these simple steps which I've shown you in these 4-5 slides, they will help you a lot in your trading, and they will improve your trading a lot. So we will be going much deeper into these concepts when we do the full CMT curriculum. This is just an example. So then this is the end from my side of the presentation. I wish you success, whether you join our classes or you don't join our classes, up to you totally. You can see more details on cmtassociation.org, which is the website of CMT. Okay. And these are my numbers. This is my email address. This is my Twitter handle and LinkedIn ID. And below is my address of our Andheri office. If you want, you can take note of these. And now, if you have any questions, you can ask. I've done with the presentation. Yes, we will email you the presentation. Any other questions? Is it possible to complete CMP into a yes? Of course, you can complete in 1.5 years, including designation. If you already have an experience, then you can complete in 2 years. I was able to do it in 1.5 years. I was lucky that I cleared all the levels in the first attempt. Thanks, Jeevan. Thanks a lot. Okay, if there's no question, then we'll wind up. You all have my number. You have my email address. If you have any other query, you can always contact me later. I'm from Tamil Nadu, so is it possible to go with? Yeah, as I said, it will be available both online and offline. As of now, it will be only online because of COVID. We cannot have a classroom session, so you can have it totally online. All the classes will be online, and we'll courier you the study material. And the classes are starting from the next Saturday. So if you don't want to miss the first class, I will request you all to register at least with some token amount. Register for the classes so that you can attend the first class. I hope I've been able to answer all your questions and all your doubts. I've tried to complete everything in the CMT, including the chapters, everything what is required for level 1. I've tried to do all. It is a little lengthy presentation because this detailed chapter, what we'll be covering in the chapter, that takes a lot of time. Okay, so we'll wind up for the day. If you have a further question, if you have forgotten to ask something, you can always call me, okay? Or you can WhatsApp me. While you are WhatsApping, use this 7977274416 number, because this number is also on WhatsApp, but I don't generally use this number. This is my primary number actually. Okay. So thanks a lot for coming in and giving your time. I'll end up the session here. Thank you.